calls that we get quite often. My coil is a block of ice and it won't cool. Why is that? The first thing you want to do when you come across an iced up AC coil is get it defrosted. And you want to try to do this naturally, to let it thaw by itself. Have the blower on so air is circulating across the coil. Never use sharp objects like an ice pick. You might puncture something. You might use a heat gun to add additional heat to get the ice off the coil. But however you do it carefully and get all the ice off the coil. Once you have the coil defrosted, the next thing you want to check is airflow. Airflow, airflow, airflow. Over 90% of the coils that are iced up is due to airflow. And of course, the homeowner always tells us that they change their filter religiously every month. You also need to make sure that the coil itself is clean. If it's not, you need to clean it. So a good coil cleaner, washing it down, and getting the fins perfectly clean so that the air flows smoothly over the coil and we get good heat transfer. Also take a look at the blower wheel. If it's dirty like this, you're definitely not moving enough air. So clean the blower wheel and make sure that it's clean and moving the proper air. The next thing you want to check is to make sure that the furnace or air handler is set up for the proper airflow. Most units have dip switches or some kind of setting to change the speed taps on the motor and make sure that the motor is running at the correct CFM for the particular application. Once you have cleaned the coil and checked the filter and checked the blower wheel and have everything set for the proper CFM, then you want to take a total system static reading with a magnehelix or a manometer. On whichever side you have the highest reading, that is the side that you want to take a look at. If your highest reading is on the return side, then you want to look at your return. If your higher reading is on the supply side, you want to take a look at the supply ductwork. If everything so far has checked out, and everything is clean and you have the proper CFM, and there's no major restrictions on your ductwork, the next thing you want to look at is the refrigerant side. Is there a restriction in the refrigerant line? Make sure that you have a solid column of liquid going into the TXV. If you don't, you may have a restricted liquid line dryer and the refrigerant is flashing off before it gets to the TXV. If this is happening, the TXV is not able to feed the coil properly. After we have made all these checks for airflow, cleanliness, and TXV metering, the last thing that we want to look at, which is sometimes the first thing that techs will do, is take a look at the refrigerant charge. Is the system charged properly? By taking subcooling and superheat readings and looking at the data tag of the unit, we can determine if the system has been properly charged. If not, we recommend to recover the entire charge and weigh back in the factory recommended charge for the system.
Go to arefco.com for more videos, like, subscribe, and check back every week for new videos.